Okay, it's Saturday, so this is probably the last video of the week. Excuse the hair being messed. I had to change my bandage, which I had to take my clothes off to do that, because my sore on the other side is draining, so I gotta continue continue to change the bandage. Peroxide's hitting it, so it hurts a little bit, but at least I got a little sleep last night. Okay, topic of the day. Where my head? Okay, on like Facebook, or maybe even all the other social medias, they've got these people that are posting the deaths of celebrities, and when you go to check, it turns out not to be true. So be careful when you see that. Make sure, you know, it's in the media. You know, that's why every time I see something like that, I go to Google and I pop the name up, and if it doesn't change to, a death date being that day or whatever, then I know that it's fake. Also, a lot of celebrities don't have time to be on Facebook or whatever. There's some that are, I have a couple that are, but there are also people that are making up profiles, especially of actors like in the K dramas and the C dramas and the Japanese dramas and stuff like that. They're actors. Um, China doesn't allow them to go on Facebook, so you need to be aware that there's a lot of fakes out there. And the minute they ask you to send them money, that's sign number one telling you, you know. Another sign is they don't know you, but they'll claim they love you and all that. Those are fake. I've ran into a few of those. Uh, Not that I don't want to talk to, those actors and stuff, because I appreciate how they do their business. They're in a rough spot over there because they're overworked. You can tell it in their eyes, they're overworked. But they still manage to produce a great drama or whatever they're doing on the time. And some of them even sing too. Um, Ching Yi, he's one. I can't pronounce the name right, but it sounds like Leo Luxi. Okay. Those are two of the Chinese actors that I've encountered several fakes of theirs. Uh, but you got to be careful when you do that. So if you're into that stuff, don't always think that that's the real person, because China is still a communist country. They're still, on the level of they get told how to do the communication. So their internet is not like ours. And I don't think they can get YouTube there. I think they have their own version of it. They also have their own version of Facebook, which I think is called Weibo. Now, you go on that one, you can find them, but it's basically in Chinese. So, though you can get some translations and stuff, not all of them have it. So, so be aware, those fans of those dramas, be aware that their actors are prohibited from being on Facebook, because Facebook is Facebook is just what it is. It's for the English speaking world and Europe. But China, like I said, blocks YouTube. I think they block our YouTube, and they have their own version. which if you could find it, you could probably get on it too, but it's all, like I said, all in Chinese. Korea is different because it's two separate. There's North and South. So South Koreans, you could probably find theirs Facebook-wise. North Korean, no, because they're communists too. Um, I just want to give you guys a heads up because I know quite a few people from around the world have, joined these Facebook, followed these Facebook guys, claiming to be who they are claiming to be, and they're not really, which is okay. As long as they're not hurting anybody, trying to, take money for no reason. But the fake ones usually ask you to send them like a card for the computer. So it might be to pay for the outside the country internet. I don't know. But I do know that China has their own internet that, allows their countrymen and women to go on and all that stuff. Because there's certain limitations they can do. Because they're not as free as everybody thinks. There's different laws there, and they have to follow them. That's the government. Which the reason why I don't think they fight is, one, they might be, killed for stepping up and saying something against the government. It might be, but I can't tell you that. All I can say is that, they have strict rules in China than they do here. So that's why, I say beware, like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, because they have their own versions of that stuff. People who are pretending to be these actors, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, and I hope at least one of you is listening. That is not right, because you're making people believe you're that actor, and then they get a more personal edge and send money that they can't afford. So if y'all doing that kind of stuff, stop. Don't do it. Here in America, we could tell, but I mean, I've even seen some fake ones later. But like I said, they're gonna pop up. If a person thinks they can make money off of it, they're gonna pop up, and they're getting the pictures off the internet. So take that in mind, especially the real famous ones. Get their picture taken every time they go step outside the door. That's where they're getting the pictures from, people. So beware of, who you follow or add friends to. I got popped my ear. I don't know what it's from. It's not from dirt because I clean them like every day, but I don't know. But I just thought I'd say something about that because it's been happening. It's, happened to me. It seems like everybody that I followed or whatever and reacted to me. And there might even just be bot profiles that are doing it too. They're trying to get your information. I just change the subject. Change the subject. That's all I do. But these bots, these AI bots are made to do stuff like that. And it's a shame. It is, Yeah. There's somebody behind these bots using them for that, to make money off of people and get their information so they can steal money. Let's see, I never have money to do that. So I tell these so-called people I don't have money like that. And I really don't, but, you know, I have to keep a roof over my head, food in the food here, that utilities got to be paid. You know, I got to do stuff. I got stuff in California in the storage I got to pay for. And Texas don't give you that much money. So, you know, I could not make it out on my own. Anyway, you know. But that's my problem. I have to deal with it. Nobody else has to deal with it. Just me. But, you know, hey. We're all doing the best we can with what we got, and we got to deal with it. You know. One other thing I want to stress, and I think this, because if we are in a war, hopefully it won't be like a world war. My opinion is this: if Trump wants to send, you know, families, loved ones over there to fight and die, his son should be one of the ones to volunteer. And I'm talking about the youngest one. He's old enough now. But we all know that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So that's my opinion on that, and I'll leave it at that, because it wasn't supposed to be about him or Trump or anything else. It's a rainy day today, so we're supposed to have rain on and off all day. Things are getting, you know, getting rough for us all, and I know that, you know, that's why I know when I make videos, I don't expect money, because, you know, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just talking. You know, I'm stating how I feel. You know, whether it's right or wrong, that remains to be seen. But I'm just talking about how I feel about situations. And, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be expecting money. I don't. You know, that's why this is not fixed for that. I don't have, you know, merchandise or anything to give out. I'm not a professional. I'll say that, and I've said that before. I'm not a professional YouTuber. This is just me talking. You know, something to be left behind. Because, you know, I got grandkids, and they might want to hear Grandma talk when Grandma ain't on the earth anymore. You know, that's basically what, you know, what I do this for. You know. So they know what kind of person I am. But other than that, you know, it's all good. You know, I don't have a Patreon. I don't have, I mean, I have an Instagram, I have several Facebooks, you know, different ones. I have Messenger. If you want to ask a question or contact me, you can contact me here. I mean, you know, but I'm not here to make money. I mean, you know, yeah, everybody needs money, but I'm not using this forum to make money. It's not my idea, you know. I'm just a person that likes to be heard. Whether you agree upon me or not, it's okay, you know. But anyway, let's leave it at that. So I'll probably call this, you know, beware of false profiles or something, so you know what it's about. You know, except for the little tidbit I said about the president's youngest. Anyway, hope everybody has a good day. And hopefully it's nice weather where you're at. We're raining. So, I mean, I'll take you outside just to show you the weather. Oh, hang on. I wish I could flip it. That's the weather. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Probably won't be till about Monday. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, bye. Have a good day.